Let me just get situated a little bit here. Make sure the back has the pillow, got my coffee, my cup of happy. Actually, that's what this mug says. And I am ready to teach you guys today about the Enneagram Harmonic Triads. And these also can be known as the conflict coping styles. And so you might have heard it either way, both are correct. So there are 3 groups of 3 within the Harmonic Triads. So types 1, 3, and 5 are called the logical group, or the logical style, or the competent group. You might hear it called either of those ways. And the good news is I've already taught all about that. It's ready for you guys to go ahead and watch if you want to learn about the logical group. The next group of 3 is types 4, 6, and 8. And this group is called the reactive group. And I've also heard it called the intensity group or the emotional realness group. And so again, it's one of those where if you've heard it called either of those 3 ways, they're all okay. That video is already done too. And so my advice would be go give those 2 videos a watch after this one so that you understand all 3 groups. And this will help you understand yourself and those people in your life better. And this brings up the 3rd set of 3, which is today's video. Types 2, 7, and 9 are in this group, and they are called the positive outlook group. And they also can be known as the optimistic group. So again, it's one of those things where some people have called it the positive outlook group and other people have called it the optimistic group or triad. So all of those are correct. And so this is what I'm going to be teaching you guys about today, the positive outlook triad. So if you're new here, I'm Hillary, your certified Enneagram life coach, and I love to teach you guys the Enneagram in the simplest and easiest way possible. So grab something to take notes. It's time for me to teach you about that positive outlook group. And what I would like to do before I start the teaching is read out of the Wisdom of the Enneagram. This is a great book, a great read if you want to learn about the Enneagram. This book does a good job explaining why we learn about these harmonic groups. And so it says, the harmonic groups are useful for transformational work because they indicate how each person copes when they do not get what they want, as indicated by the triad they are in. Thus, they reveal the fundamental way that our personality defends against loss and disappointment. And so that's the best way to describe why we learn about these groups. So let's get started. So the positive outlook group. This group of 3 is going to reframe all the negative things in their life or anything negative into positive things, positive thoughts, positive ways to go about it. And so that's what this group does. So any negative viewpoints are going to be turned into optimistic perspectives. And I'm a type 9, and yes, I do this. So this is how a type 9, 7, and 2 copes or reacts when they don't get what they want or need. It's really their strategy when anything disappointing happens or if any conflict happens. This is how they cope. And truthfully, all 3 of these types, they really try and avoid any negative thoughts or feelings. They all try and avoid pain in different areas and ways. All 3 of these are out of balance when trying to meet the needs of themselves and other people. These 3 types are the ones that really want to be happy and want everyone around them to be happy too. And the last thing all 3 of them have in common is they all usually can see the bright side of things. So let's go ahead and break it down by type. Because yes, they all 3 react in a positive, optimistic way, but this looks differently in all 3 of them. So there are 3 main themes within all 3. And those 3 themes that are in all 3 types are the first one, what do they give priority to? The second one, what do they avoid seeing? And the third one is, what do they struggle with? And so I'm going to go over all 3 of those within all 3 of the types. So let's go ahead and start with the type 2, the helper. What do they give priority to? So they give priority to their own positive self-image. And what this looks like, they really put focus on their good intentions, like I am loving, I am kind, I am caring, I'm a nurturing person. And so that's what they give priority to. What do they avoid seeing? Their own needs, their own emotions, and any disappointment or anger that they might have. They just really avoid seeing that. And last but least, what do they struggle with? Well, the type 2 struggles with putting way too much priority on other people's needs, which causes them to struggle and neglect their own needs. And so that's what the type 2 struggles with. So moving on to the type 7, the enthusiast. So what does the type 7 give priority to? Their own positive experiences, they give priority to that. Their own enjoyment, they focus on fun, excitement, and activities. And so that's what the type 7 gives priority to. So what do they avoid seeing? Their own pain. If they are feeling empty inside, they're going to try and avoid it. And they might also try and avoid any pain and suffering that they might have something to do with. So what do they struggle with? They are very focused on their own needs, and they can feel burdened by the needs of other people. And so that's what the 7 struggles with. So last but least, the type 9, the Peacemaker. What do they give priority to? They look for and highlight the positive qualities of other people and their environment. And so they're always looking to highlight positive qualities of things around them and other people. I will attest to that. I definitely do that. And it can get me in trouble sometimes because I don't always deal with reality. I always just put a positive spin, and I'm just looking for the positive in other people all the time. And the 9 might even idolize their world. And so that is what they put priority on. What does the 9 avoid seeing? So they avoid problems with their loved ones and problems that are with their environment. And so they really try and avoid that. They also can avoid developing themselves. And so those are the things that the type 9 can avoid. Okay, so the last thing is, what does a type 9 struggle with? They struggle to deal with their own needs and other people's needs. They will either completely shut down or reframe it into a positive viewpoint. And so that's the 9. They struggle with their own needs and the needs of other people. And I am so guilty of this. This has been very convicting teaching about this. I always thought you want to think like the positive outlook triad. Oh, it's so positive and amazing. But really, it's not always all positive and good, right? It's some of this is we're running from pain. I think in the end, all 3 of these types have trouble facing the dark, painful side of things and themselves. They really just look at things in a very optimistic way so they could deal with it. And honestly, sometimes this is a great gift to have, right? It's a good thing to be able to reframe and find the positive in things and find the silver lining. I'm not saying that's bad. What I am saying is it's not healthy to never deal with the negativity, the negative things, or the hard things. And so you need to find balance. And that's why all 3 of these triads, or groups, or whatever you want to call them, the logical, the reactive, and the positive outlook, can learn from each other. Because the 9 can learn from the reactive and learn from the logical. The logical can learn from the reactive and learn from the positive, and the reactive can learn from the positive and learn from the logical. Guys, I really believe that there are things that we can learn from each other. And so going back to this positive outlook triad, in the end, all 3 types really try and deny that they have any problems. And I want to read one more thing out of this great book. I think it's on page 68. And so how this book puts it is the positive outlook group. Yeah, like I said, they deny they have any problems. The 9, they'll be like, what problem? I don't think there is a problem. Guilty as charged. The 2, you have a problem and I am here to help you. And then the 7 says, there may be a problem, but I'm fine. And so that's a little bit about the positive outlook group. So I've had a lot of people come to me that are like, I don't know if I'm a 2, I don't know if I'm a 9, or am I a 9 or a 7? Like these 3 can be similar, right? And this is why, because they're all in this positive outlook group together. And the one I see the most is 9s mistyping themselves as 2s and 7s, but it can happen within any of them. And so if you are still struggling to land on your type, I offer a Discover You typing session. It's a 1-hour Zoom call with me. All that information can be found in the description box down below. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to push the like button. That helps my channel. I appreciate it, guys. So until next time, bye guys.